All right. David, you want to hit the bell? Mine is stowed away. All right. So we've marked the beginning of this time we set aside to pay attention, to slow down, to be present in the moment, and to just breathe. So go ahead and sit comfortably. If you need to lie back, you can lie back. You can lie flat on the floor if you like, if you feel you can stay awake doing that. And you can leave your eyes open or closed, whatever you prefer. If you're sitting, try and keep your back straight and your hands in your lap. That just helps to keep that state of mind that's relaxed but attentive. And begin with your breath, letting your breath come and go as it pleases. Not trying to lengthen it or deepen it. Just let it be long if a breath wants to be long, short if it wants to be short. But turn your attention around to your breath. You feel your belly rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. And we don't need to get ahead of ourselves. We just watch that one breath that's in front of us. And if we find our mind wanders for a couple of breaths, we don't need to berate ourselves or say, I'll never get this. We just get back to what it was we planned to do, which was to stay present and watch our breath. So you just stay with the breath for a few minutes. Breathing in, feeling your belly rise and your belly falls, and you breathe out. You feel the cool air as it enters your nostrils. You feel your lungs fill with air, kind of like a balloon filling up. And when they've reached the point of fullness, when you've kind of been able, by paying attention, to have a full breath, not just a half of a one, then you let your diaphragm relax, and you don't have to work very hard to breathe out. The air just leaves. You feel how it's been warmed by your lungs. There's a brief pause at the end of that out breath, and then we begin the next breath. Your belly slowly rising as you breathe in, and then again falling as you breathe out. And you feel, too, in this moment, the full weight of your body on the floor or in the chair. Again, we're focused not just on ourselves, but whatever is around us, whatever is coming in. Like I've said before, it's like sitting on the curb of a parade and you just watch first the brass band, then the clown cars, the acrobats, and you don't worry about what's coming next. You don't look down the street at what's already passed. You just look at what's right in front of you and enjoy it. Enjoying this breath. And the same thing as a parade, if someone behind you talks to you and you turn away for a moment, you might have a moment where you think, I wish I had seen those clown cars. But there's something coming along just as quickly that's worth watching, so you just let that go. And so again, if your mind wanders, your attention wanders, you just bring it back to the next breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And you're aware too of any discomfort you may feel. If you're a little stiff, if you have a muscle cramping, or you're just a little uncomfortable, you can certainly change how you're seated. There's no rule that says you can't adjust. But that also comes into your field of vision. It's just another part of the parade passing by, and you look at that and watch that too with the same kind of attention you give to your breath. And what we usually find is all of those things come and go. That's one of the things we learn from this breath that comes and goes one after another, is that everything comes into being and falls away. That itch that you can't bear, if you just with curiosity watch it, you'll find it usually goes away after a short time. Those thoughts that may be troubling you, if you just look at them and not attach to them, they'll usually change too. Most everything changes. That everything changes is, as I read someone said, the one truth of this life. So you watch things come and go, you watch them change, and you keep your attention rather than on the past or the future or someplace far away. We just keep it on right here and right now. And here we're in the midst of a beautiful summer, or the beginning of a beautiful summer. Days with rain and then heat and rain again. It's been a little warm, but if you wear a light t-shirt or a hat to keep the sun off your head, it's just wonderful to be outside. You can just sit outside and do the same kind of thing. Do the same kind of thing we used to do when we were kids, lay in the grass and watch the clouds go by. And there's nothing wrong with letting your imagination enter into that and think about, what does that cloud look like? Oh, there's one that looks like Mickey Mouse. And they come and go. And they're often used as an example of what our thoughts are like. Just like the clouds that pass, and we invest great meaning in them if we're thinking about what they look like. Sometimes we invest great importance to our thoughts that are just things that are coming up, passing through, when the real nature of our minds and our attention is just like the wide open blue sky, that the clouds float through, the thoughts float through. So you just continue in this spot. It's kind of like taking a stand, saying, this is where I will remain and watch all that's going on around me, inside this body, inside this room, in this grass under the clouds, wherever it is that you are, and you just give attention to it. Breathing in, feeling your belly rise, breathing out as your belly falls and your lungs deflate like that balloon. And it's very easy, it's kind of popular now to say, well, we just need to be here now. We need to be in this present moment and what's happening in front of us. But I think I'd say it's natural. I mean, there's a reason our brains sometimes think about the future or about the past. But we can kind of have the right view of them. I mean, thinking that neither one of them are available to us right now. The past is just a story we tell about something that happened to us once. And the future is something that's a story we tell about what might happen. Truly all we have and all we know is what's happening right now. And before we began this meditation, we were talking about one of our members who had just moved, and I was the one that asked, what are you going to do after this place you're temporarily in? So I was the one pulling her out of the present, and she just said, we're just where we are right now, and we'll see what happens, how things work out next. And I think that's a good way to be, that we don't have to push the future away. But if we can feel that things are good right now, and we can see that we may have been through some tough times in the past, we've had good and bad experiences, but we've made it through and we're here in this moment right now. And that will be true into the future too. I was struggling with some difficult things I was going through recently, and I heard myself saying to someone, well, I figure everything's good right now, and the future will take care of itself. Which is not to say we don't plan. If you know the forecast calls for rain, you bring your umbrella along. And there's nothing wrong with preparing for things that may come your way. But of course, we never know for certain what that's going to be. We may think we know, but the only thing we can be certain of is what's happening right now. This is where things are happening now. We're standing right in the middle between the future and the past. And this right now is our life. It's our life right now. It's a kind of like a camera or a movie camera that's shooting what's happening right now, and it moves on as things change. There's different scenes, different things occurring. But it's what's within our field of vision. It's with that parade and what's right in front of us, that's our life. And if we don't pay attention to it, it's conceivable we could come to the end of our life and never have been present to what was happening, as though we'd missed our whole life. And we think about how we may feel if we missed 3 breaths when we're trying to do this. All the more you think about what it would be like if you get to the end of your life and you think, I missed most of it. I think that's a regret in looking over the past none of us want to have. So the more you're able to stand with your arms spread, one arm touching the future, one touching the past, but that you're standing right in the present. That's the best we can do in this life. The best way to guarantee we don't miss anything. And this is what we practice here, that paying attention, not ignoring past or future, but being present in what's happening now. And when we begin to do that, I find even those moments that are difficult are still good in this moment, no matter how difficult they may be. And you can think in the past, those difficult moments you had, usually I find when I think back over them that something good came out of it, and I learned something about the world or myself, so that the next challenge, though I might want to get out of it as quickly as possible, I can remember that something good will come of it. Something good will come, and the future will take care of itself. So the only assignment this week is to pause when you can and just pay attention to what's before you. Even if you're running along the sidewalk, you can pause to look and see what's in the parade right where you're standing. And then you may have to run further and pause to see what's in front of you. And oddly enough, it sometimes happens in life. We come back to things that we missed. And you may run ahead and pause and turn and see that you've caught up with those clown cars you wanted to see. And you can just appreciate that. And think if you hadn't stopped, you would have missed them again. So try that this week. Just pause occasionally and see where you're at. Are you in this moment, or are you wandering in the past and future? And taking that deep breath, for just a moment and focusing on it is the best way I know. It kind of ties us down to this moment like a dog on a chain tied to a post. We can't go far, and we might like to go far into the past or far into the future. But that stake or that post is driven into the heart of this moment. So we want to enjoy it and not miss it. All right, I'll ask David to ring the bell once, and when you're ready, open your eyes.